Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy and development in Nigeria and around the world. Ogamba Chukwuma, he said that I should please educate us on why many Igbo speaking people in Nigeria are denying their identity. And he said, for example, Ikwere and others. It's actually a very sensitive subject because this is an issue that is based on individual choice. Because a person can decide to claim to be whatever he wants to be called or whatever ethnicity he wants to be called. It is a matter of choice. Like the Ikwere that Ogamba Chukwuma had taught or made reference to or referenced about. Let me give you a typical example. Chibi former governor of Rivers State, former minister of transportation, is very proud to call himself an Igbo. He is an Ikwere. Nyesom Wike, former governor of Rivers State and now minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, said he is not Igbo, that he is Ikwere, or that his ancestors, that he is from Benin. But that is his choice. But the question that Ogamba Chukwuma asks is important in the sense that what are the reasons that I think that made many Igbos want to dissociate themselves from being identified as Igbo. Now, whatever I give you as reasons now is my own understanding of the reason why people does that. Now, one of the reasons for this is as a result of historical trauma. You know, some individuals may associate their Igbo identity with the Nigerian Civil War or the Biafran War of 1967 to 1970, which was a traumatic period for Igbo people. So some people, by denying their identity, is a way with which they want to cope with the trauma of that era, to distance themselves from that historical fact that civil war generated. So they want to forget about the pains, the agonies of the war by distancing themselves from being identified as Igbo. So that's how some people want to cope with the trauma and all the negativities that came with that war. So that historical trauma, it is believed, made some people to distance themselves from being identified as Igbo. Then The number two reason that I could think of is stigmatization and discrimination. You know, in certain regions of Nigeria or in certain locations, there may be stigmatization and discrimination against people of Igbo descent. So, if you are living in an environment, you are an Igbo and you are living in an environment where you know that if you identify as Igbo, you'll be stigmatized, you'll be discriminated against. So if you have opportunity of covering yourself to the level that you don't know, so to the level that let them not know that you are Igbo. So some people decide to hide their identity as a result of stigmatization and discrimination. So that is another explanation to explain why some people who are Igbo are denying their identity. It is because of fear of discrimination and stigmatization. And not everybody is wired to be able to endure stigmatization and discrimination. But there are several millions of Igbos who are proud to be Igbo. They don't care about stigmatization or discrimination. You can discriminate against them as long as you like. You can stigmatize them. They are proudly Igbo and they wear their Igbo-ness like a badge of honor. And they are ready to display it everywhere. But not everybody is wired like that. Those who are not wired like that, and who are sensitive to discrimination and stigmatization, if they are in an environment and they observe that being identified as Igbo will lead to their stigmatization and discrimination, they would like to hide their identity. Then another reason that I can think of why people hide their Igbo identity or claim they are not Igbo when they are clearly seen by others as Igbo is that of assimilation. Now, there are many Igbos who have assimilated and become acculturized in some environment. So they began to adapt and behave like the people in that environment. So when they have felt that they are already assimilated to a particular way of life, in some state where the Igbo may be minority and they are assimilated in the ethnic group that is the majority in that state, and they can speak the language, they try to assimilate themselves. So they may decide to claim that they are not Igbo because they have already assimilated with perhaps another ethnic or cultural group with which they are enjoying some advantage. So this process of assimilation may lead some people to decide to say that they are not Igbo. Of course, you also have number 4 reason I can see is economic and social opportunities. Economic and social opportunities. Now, in some cases, individuals may discover that if they say they are Igbo, it may harm their economic prospect. Okay? It may hinder their economic prospect wherever they are living. So because of that, they may decide to play down their Igbo-ness. so that they can be able to enjoy some economic leverage in the environment that they stay. So that is also a possibility on why some people decide to hide or deny their Igbo identity. And number 5 reason I could see is family pressures. You know, family dynamics and expectations can play a key, significant role in the life of people. Some people, maybe their family may decide, look, we may be Igbo, but in this area that we are, nobody should know that we are Igbo. Okay? They decide that that is what they want. That is the life they want to live. They don't want this family decide, look, we want a different. We have, if people around us know that we are Igbo, it's going to have so and so impact on our lives. They may decide to even change their family name so that it doesn't sound Igbo. And there are many people who have changed their names and their name is sounding funny, but they did it deliberately for family reasons. They want to distance themselves from their original background and the original name. Then, of course, you have number 6, security concern. If you are in an area where, if you identify as an Igbo, and this area used to have ethnic tensions, and being an Igbo makes you vulnerable, some people may decide to say that they are not Igbo because of that vulnerability, security concern. So they said, look, we are not Igbo. Because if you say you are Igbo, if there is going to be an attack, perhaps you will be among the first people they will attack. So because of that security reason, some people can decide to say that they are not Igbo. And number 7 reason why some people can decide to say that they are not Igbo is cultural disconnect. You know, some people may feel a kind of cultural disconnect from their Igbo heritage, especially if they are raised in non-speaking Igbo communities. The other time I was talking about the story of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Nnamdi Azikiwe was born in Zungeru. He was more proficient in Hausa than Igbo. So his concerned father, who was a railway worker, was not comfortable with that. He had to send Nnamdi Azikiwe to Onitsha to go and study, so that Nnamdi Azikiwe could be able to speak Igbo. But there are some families where there is that disconnect, cultural disconnect. They didn't know, the father or the parents didn't act like Azikiwe's father. And you see that there is a disconnect. So these kind of people who are brought up in such an environment may not see any need to identify as Igbo. So they may decide to hide their identity or claim another identity. So that is also plausible as reasons why some people hide their Igbo identity. Then you have the educational and professional opportunities. There are some people in the institution they are, maybe in the university, the professional bodies they belong. If they see that, if they profess that they are Igbo, it's going to harm their opportunity to rise in that academic institution or in that professional body, they may decide to hide their identity. That is also possible excuse that some people may give for hiding their Igbo identity. Then number 9 is politics. And you know how politics is in Nigeria. Politics in Nigeria has become so polarized. I will not be surprised if Yeso Uche, the reason why he's claiming that he's not Igbo was because he don't want to be discriminated against in terms of seeking for power at the center. He wanted to be president of Nigeria. He contested for the PDP presidential ticket. Perhaps he believed that if they identify him as Igbo, it could work against his political aspiration. Okay? Because there are still those who, despite the fact that since the end of the war, the General Yakub Gowon, who ended the war, was talking about that no victor, no vanquish. But some people, that war is still in their heart. They believe that there must be the vanquished. There are victorious side and there are the vanquished side. So they don't agree with that. And when they come to the presidency issue, they bring up the Civil War just to, to demarcate anybody who has an Igbo name or Igbo sounding name. So there's that possibility that because of politics, some people may decide to say that they are not Igbo so that their political career will not end in a way that they don't want it. So they decide to claim that they are not Igbo, that they are something else. Perhaps that thing they claim they have, maybe they believe that it will be more tolerable for the people in the system to allow them to aspire to be president of Nigeria. So this is a very important reason that some politicians may decide to hide their identity as Igbo. Then number 10 is personal choice. Some people decide that just they don't want to be identified as Igbo. They want to be called whatever they want to be called. As far as they are concerned, whatever they like, they can decide to be called. So that's personal decision. Of course, we know is the right of every right-thinking person to decide for himself what he wants to be called or his identity. And you cannot impose on a man an identity which he does not agree with. So some people may decide out of personal choice to say that they are not Igbo. But in summary, at the center of people's claiming that they are not Igbo is largely because the Igbo have been a marginalized group for a long time, since 1970, after the war. So because the Igbos are a marginalized group, and the government of Nigeria is one of the few ways, one of the major ways, in fact, that they dispense the largesse, appointments, and all that. And the Nigerian system continues to discriminate against people of Igbo extraction. So people, those who are supposed to claim that they are Igbo, because of that discrimination, try to distance themselves, to call themselves a different thing, so that people will not identify them as Igbo, and then so that they will not suffer the same discrimination that the Igbos suffer in Nigeria in terms of search or quest for the resources of the country. So I think that is the summary of the whole thing. Because of the marginalization of the Igbo, so all the sub-Igbo groups, they see it as necessary to identify as Igbo, because being identified as an Igbo, They don't see it as of any benefit. In fact, they consider it as something that could harm their prospect in whatever they want to achieve with the federal government of Nigeria. So that is the way I see it. But basically, to identify to be Igbo is a question of choice. And I keep telling people, the Igbos are not looking for people. The Igbo is a great race. The Igbo has been adjudged as one of the most brilliant people in the world. They have some of the best scientists, writers, researchers, musicians, actors, athletes, footballers. They are among the best in the world. So the Igbos are not really bothered about anybody not identifying to be Igbo. From my own perspective, the Igbos, they have enough men to be able to defend their culture, their identity. And so they are not desperate or feel concerned when somebody who is assumed to be Igbo, say he's not an Igbo. And this identity also is not a new thing in the world. There were a kind of discussion like this about the Jews. Who is a Jew? And one of the classical definition of a Jew is that a Jew is he who calls himself a Jew. Which means if you say you are a Jew, then you are a Jew. If you say that you are not a Jew, then you are not a Jew. And that is also similar to the way I look at it. If you say you are Igbo, you are Igbo. If you say you are not Igbo, you are not Igbo. Okay? But in the traditional Jewish religion, if your mother is Jewish, you are automatically a Jew. But if your father, if it is your father that is a Jew, then you are not qualified to be called a Jew. You are a Jew in the traditional sense if your mother is a Jew. And you are Igbo in Nigeria if your father is Igbo and your father identified himself as Igbo. But if your father says he is not Igbo, whatever your father said you are, that is who you are. That is the way it is. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.